Thanks again for staying with us on the program TMI Monday. And now we'll begin our second segment of discussion by looking at the outcome of the Ondo State governorship election, which of course gave a second-term mandate to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. We hear celebration galore, beginning from the moment the election result was announced and the incumbent governor declared the winner. I'm joined now by Comrade Idris Zakari, who is a public affairs commentator and also a politician. Idris, many thanks for joining me on the program.
Thank you so much for having me today.
We'll also be looking at the End SARS Now protest, which of course, in a sense, came to an end yesterday with the dissolution of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, and we hope it stays that way. But there's been mixed reactions trailing this latest development. I'll be bringing you up to speed with all of that. But let's begin this segment of our discussion by looking at the outcome of the election. Well, relatively peaceful, even though there are allegations of pocket of violence. But what are your thoughts?
First of all, I want to, like I always do, congratulate the good people of Ondo State for keeping the peace, more than anything else. I always insist on that because in an atmosphere of violence, you can achieve little.
Yeah.
Of course, you can achieve nothing. So they have kept the peace, and I also want to congratulate the opposition in that state because even after the results were announced, we didn't see people go into the street, burning houses, burning cars, and taking the laws into their hands. So in a nutshell, just like I said in Edo, if the result did not favor you, there are avenues you use to ventilate your grouse.
Yeah.
And if the result is in your favor, there are ways to celebrate without putting your life, the life of others and properties in danger.
Yeah.
So I congratulate Ondo people for keeping the peace. I also want to congratulate the eventual winner of that election, Arakuri Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State.
Yeah.
He was able to play the kind of politics that we expect politicians to play, bringing everybody together within your party so that you don't have the kind of rancor that you have elsewhere. You put your hegemonize your party so that you go into your battle, your political battle, as a united front. The other key actors, Agbola, the deputy governor to Arakun, the present deputy governor of Ondo State and the candidate of the PDP, he also gave a good account of himself. You cannot begrudge a man who has his own mindset. He has made up his mind, he wanted to be governor, and he went for it. So you must commend him for having the energy, the zeal, to say, I want to be deputy. He could have stayed comfortably as a deputy governor, but he made up his mind, wanted to be governor. So you must commend that. Our people have a way of talking down and laughing down on people who
have political aspirations.
Who have aspiration. Anybody can have aspiration. So he has tried, today he has failed, tomorrow he may be successful. So he has tested the waters. And for the one they now call the perennial governorship candidate, Eyitayo Jegede. You see, he also gave, Agbola is ZLP now, Eyitayo Jegede of PDP.
Yes.
He also gave a very good account of himself. You know, you must commend him. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria, just like the governor. He's a very enlightened lawyer. So in a nutshell, I think our democracy is deepening across board. The election in Edo State, the election in Ondo State, and we are going to see even more elections. The election in Bayelsa, Edo, Ondo, you see that democracy is deepening. It's taking roots. It has gone, it's now getting to the tap roots now, digging deeper and deeper and deeper by the day. And we must continue to encourage our politicians that they should not take this for granted. We will no longer tolerate atmosphere of violence and rancor, and because you know when you create chaos. The problem we now have in our political space is now pre-election problems. When I say pre-election now, the kind of insult, the mudslinging, the name calling that goes on prior to the election is even worse than the election proper. So I want to commend the way everything has been conducted. You saw the way INEC conducted themselves. You saw the way the political parties conducted themselves. You saw the way the people who are the ultimate in a democracy conducted themselves. So in a nutshell, I commend the INEC, I commend the police, I commend the people, and I commend the political parties for the way they have conducted themselves. So that's my opinion on Ondo elections.
Okay, thank you very much for those thoughts that you just shared. Some things happened in the election. Number one, there was a boat mishap. Thank God no one was lost in that boat mishap, and all electoral materials, according to them, were rescued or recovered, and then the election eventually went. Couldn't there have been a better way to deliver those materials to the centers, in your opinion?
Unfortunately, we are still a developing nation, and there are a lot of things that ought to have been done that are not done. We could have had helicopters. If INEC had helicopters would fly in to the local government and drop those materials at the local government headquarters. But as of today, what we have are the boats, and that's what we're used. My only fear is the life of the youth corps members who were the polling officers. That if you saw the video, it was very scary. I was worried.
Yeah.
You saw them floating on top of water. But that they were saved and those materials were rescued showed that all precautionary measures that needed to be taken were taken. Namely, that they had a life jacket.
Yeah.
So they were floating on top of the water. They were not.
It became easier for them to be rescued.
It became easier for the rescue process. But going forward, I think we should begin to move in the direction of developing even more. Our politicians have to know that we cannot remain the way we are right now. They have to take it a notch higher. You have to do more for your people. Your roads that you want to build, they must be standard. The schools you want to build, then the waterways, you must clear them of hyacinth. And the boats you want to, look at the boats they were using. Boats that...
wooden boats.
Wooden boats.
Yes.
Nothing stop. And you see our politicians, when they go to Dubai and elsewhere where they go to enjoy themselves, you see them driving on yachts. Those big, heavy $300 million worth of yachts. But we cannot deploy complex technologies like that for our election. We'll put wooden boat because people going there are not our children. So our politicians must take it a notch higher. We cannot continue the way we are. However, this is what we have today, and we are grateful. We thank God that no life was lost. I used to, those ugly days where core members will go and conduct election, and that will be the end. Yeah. They will die. Those ugly days are long gone. In Edo State, we don't lose electoral officers, and in Ondo now, by special grace of God, they have not lost any from the reports we are getting. But our politicians must know that we must begin to make new forms of progress. So that is the position we are at right now.
Fantastic. Just of course, taking you back to what transpired on Saturday in the Ondo State governorship election, you could see heavy presence of security agents, and the electorates came out in their numbers to participate in that election, just to cast their vote, exercise their franchise. And on the part of INEC, a lot of commendations also come in for INEC in terms of its conduct in this election. I recall that the marching orders given by the INEC chairman was that show to the world that what happened in Edo State wasn't a fluke. Are you satisfied with the conduct of INEC?
Yes. They have proven themselves once again. I think INEC has gone, have taken it a step higher, and they've gone above board. You know, the undue influence that politicians used to have on INEC. I'm not saying security agencies now, because we are still having incidents of security agents compromising their position. Yeah. But especially here in Edo, Ondo, they were a bit above board, but INEC have managed to sail above board. And those undue influence that elections will be going on the feed, people will be writing results in hotels. All those now are gradually becoming things of the past. It has multiplier effect, and the multiplier effect is that politicians will realize that you must have to go and domesticate your policies and your program with the people. Because at the end of the day, as they are voting in their units, do you know that by 4 p.m. on Saturday, we already knew the winner of Ondo elections? Because more than 2,000 polling units have already been uploaded in the INEC portal. So when you go to the INEC portal, you see 2,000, and you have only 1,200 left. You could see the direction. It becomes difficult to rig. So it takes a miracle, except you want to turn water to wine. Our politicians want to turn water to wine. For you to now use 1,200 to now defeat 2,000. So people already know the winner, even before INEC. The INEC collation and announcement of results is more like an academic exercise these days. Because even before they have done that, the people already know the eventual winners of the elections. You can see it Online, you just go to the INEC portal in your bedroom. You don't have to go to anywhere. You don't have to go and protest. In your bedroom, you will see Unit 1 in so and so local government, so and so ward.
Yeah.
You see the results.
Yeah.
By the time you check 2,000, check 2,500, you already see the direction
of the
it is
election.
going. So I think INEC has taken it a notch higher. We must consolidate.
Okay.
So consolidation is the next line of action. So we must begin to now consolidate, to build on what we already have existing. Politicians should stay away from our electoral process. They are participants, not influencers. They are participants in the electoral process. So they should stay away from trying to influence the electoral process. Go and talk to the people. Go and work with the people. Go and domesticate your policies with the people. Don't let them swallow you up with propaganda. In fact, make your own propaganda.
Yeah.
And elections are not perfect anywhere. I give you a vivid example. The US President, Donald Trump, has been lamenting in the past few months that they are rigging him out. Is it not funny? The mother of democracy, the United States of America.
Yes, and he's saying he will accept the
president,
result.
I'm not talking of Joe Biden, the opposition
he
leader.
will accept the result. That's what he's saying.
He's saying he will not accept that they are rigging him out. That when you check some posts, you will see Donald Trump, that they put it and put it inside dustbin. That when you go to dustbin, you see Donald Trump votes there. So that tells you that there is no electoral process that is foolproof. However, we are going there. We are getting there. And our people must stop demonizing our nation.
Okay.
I will talk more about this during the NSAS discourse. We must stop demonizing our electoral process.
Okay.
If you go around the world, our electoral process is even taking a better shape than most other advanced countries. Whether you believe it or not. Yes, pre-election might be rancorous.
Yes.
We insult each other, we curse each other, we do this and
call
we
each
do
other
that.
names.
Call each other names, demonize each other. But our electoral process, you see, immediately after election, the tension will drop significantly. So that is where we are going to. Our people must begin to, must stop demonizing our nation. Our nation is making progress. That's why I put it on my Facebook wall during the Independence Day. I say, I will not join you to abuse Nigeria. If you don't like it here, go elsewhere. Yes, go elsewhere. You must join hands together to build this nation. We know we have problems. We do have problems. Unemployment is running wild on the streets. But we must not continue demonizing our nation. That is why we think we have more problems than even those we envy.
Absolutely.
So that is it.
What do you make of the challenge of vote buying? Because from underground reports, that was a major issue in the Ondo State governorship election.
Yes, like I said, I made a remark just right now that our politicians must stop trying to influence our electoral process. That is part of their mechanism of influencing. They have discovered now that you can no longer write results in hotels. They've discovered now that you can no longer carry thugs, go and steal. Snatching of ballot boxes now is a complete waste of time. It's a colossal risk to your life and the life of your supporters. They now know that. So they now deploy cash. That is why you see we want to have an election, 5 governors will leave their state, abandon governance in their state and relocate to the state where election is taking place. We saw it in Edo, we saw it in Ondo, on both sides. On both sides. These ones, 5 governors, 6 governors will leave governance in their state and relocate.
That's solidarity. What's wrong with that?
There's absolutely everything wrong with that. Let me tell you what is wrong with that. First of all, they bring in huge amount of money.
Yes.
They can't deny it. They come with huge amount of money.
And then they pay for hotel bills.
They pay for hotel bills.
They eat, they drink, and all of that. That adds a lot of business and revenue.
That's not the kind of revenue we are looking for.
To the state.
There's the kind of revenue we are looking for. Real revenue, not the one you do in 2 days and you are gone.
Yes.
They bring their security aides. Each of these governors has not less than 200 policemen attached to them. They bring them from their states into the state.
Yes.
Creating undue tension. Creating challenges for the commissioner of police and all the other security apparatus that have been put in place to make sure the election is successful. On both sides, they bring in huge amount of money from their security votes and their state votes. We must begin to avoid that, to buy votes on election day. That is what they do now. That's the new level of influence they want to exert on our electoral process.
Okay.
So if they make you DG of campaign, if you're a governor, you are made DG of campaign, after you have done the campaign, won't you go back to your state?
Is he not supposed to see the outcome of his campaign?
Is he INEC?
Is he not supposed to see
Does
the outcome for his
card?
party?
No, excuse me.
For his party.
For his party?
Yes.
Now you bring your force, I bring my force, and we both bring forces into the state on both sides. What do you expect?
But I'm looking at the economic aspect of this bring my force, you bring your force to the state. I'm looking at the economic value that it brings. I mean, hospitality will be booming. All of this you're talking about, they get housed or they have accommodation, they pay for hotel bills. That's a major spinner for the economy of the state.
So let me ask you a question. Who pays the bills for a governor going to stay in another state for an election? The taxpayers of the home state.
Yes.
For example, my governor in Edo State now goes to maybe Ondo or Kogi to go and try to influence election there. Who is paying? The taxpayers of Edo State.
Okay.
Same with every other, same with Rivers, same with Lagos, same with Kano. So you cannot use taxpayers' money of your state to go and try to influence election in another state.
Okay.
Let them stay in their state. Campaign ends 72 hours to election. As soon as campaign ends, pack your load and go back to your state. Let the people vote. Don't bring money and begin to try to influence the area of strength of your
Okay, let me ask you this question, Idris. Do you think it was easier for INEC to deal with because these are off-cycle elections?
Yes, that's correct. That's accurate. You know, off-cycle elections are far more easier to manage, and you know, people always complain when you see 30,000 security forces deployed for an election in a single state. 30,000, sometimes 40,000, from the army, from the police, from the civil defense. That's part of what keeps the peace most times. But we are emphasizing peace now, so that people will know that even if you don't see policemen, you don't need to cause problems.
Yeah.
You don't need to cause problems. So off-cycle elections, you see, all attention, all eyes are on that election. That's why the governors are not busy. That's why they are not busy. That's why 5 of them, 6 of them will leave their state and relocate to another state. If you have election going on in your state, can you relocate to another state?
You mind your business.
You will mind your business because it's off-cycle. So it has its good, it has its bad, it has its pros, it has its cons. However, I think why we're able to manage it most times is because it is off-cycle. The security agencies are able to concentrate efforts, resources, and make sure that those elections come out peaceful the way they ought to be. However, going forward, we must continue to let our people know that violence is not part of our electoral process, so that even whether it's cycle or off-cycle, we'll be able to sustain and retain these gains we are making.
Okay, let me try and establish contact with our correspondent, Ondo State correspondent, Omowa Jonah, to give us insight into what the mood is like in Ondo State today. Omowa Jonah, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TMR.
Good morning, and how is Benin this morning?
Yeah, Benin is cool and calm. We are good. How are you doing? How is Akure? Tell us, we really couldn't really, we couldn't really have an interface with you on election day on Saturday. What happened? You got to what?
Yeah, we have the INEC positions and where the results were released.
Okay.
The rule is that when you enter, don't go out. That was switch off or put in silent mode. So that what happened.
Okay, now, Akedulu has been elected for a second. Yesterday, I saw him, give some dancing steps. I'm sure he may have those dancing steps ahead of the outcome of the election. Tell us what's like on those states in Akure specifically.
Akure is a peaceful camp. It was only defeated, but it was the
Okay.
But in Akure and Hotel Kokobes, there was no drilling. Nobody wanted to drill. I think there was a secret report that if there's a duration, the respondent of PP may attack this mass of blue. So there was duration. In fact, immediately the result was the final result was released. Everybody, including the party agents, just moved away one by one and went to their houses. There was no jubilation. Security agents were patrolling to ensure that there was no breakdown of law and order. And others were seen stationed at strategic positions just to make sure the situation is under control. So that was exactly what happened. People were going about their normal businesses, even the markets. The markets were opened, people were buying and selling, and vehicles were going, some were even coming from church, some were going to church. So it was just a normal thing. It doesn't even look as if anything happened in Ondo State yesterday, in Akure and other local government. It was only in Owo that there was celebration, and that is because Akure is from there.
Okay.
And
okay. Let's quickly talk about the election outcome. There's a talk about the 3 major candidates, the APC candidate, the PDP candidate and the ZLP candidate, they all came from the 3 senatorial districts of the state, right? Yes. What was their performances in each of these 3 senatorial districts that they came from?
Only one in 3 local government areas. That is Akure North, Akure South, and Fedore. Is from the Central Senatorial District. Okay. And Akure Dolo won in 15 local government areas, including Owo, where he came from. And he pulled a total score of 292,830 votes. Then Jagade pulled 195,791 votes, a difference of 99,000 votes. Agbola Ajayi from the Zen Labour Party did not win in any local government. He didn't win in any local government. And he scored 59,127 votes to secure the 3rd position. So that was the results.
Could anything had happened if there was a collaboration or a cooperation between Jagaden and Agbola before this election on account of what the result has turned out?
In fact, that was even the genesis of the problem for Itayo. When the results of the primaries was released, all the candidates, all the aspirants, including Agbola Ajayi, they were angry. And Itayo on his part did not refuse, because he said he was not ready to take his running mate from any of those aspirants. And that one further made the aspirants to be angry. Some defected to Z Labour Party. Some just went underground. We didn't hear anything about them. They didn't join in the campaign. They didn't even mobilize their supporters to help Itayo. So there was a serious disunity in PDP. So that's exactly what happened. If Jagade had approached Agbola, maybe to be his running mate, definitely Agbola would have rejected. But Jagade would have made effort to keep Agbola in the party by giving him the privilege to bring a running mate or to have inputs in bringing the running mate. But that was not done. So that was why Agbola had to pull out of PDP and went and contested under the Z Labour Party. So if they had worked together, I think the story would have been different.
Okay. On a final note, do you think that the outcome of the election, well, of course, it favored the incumbent governor. Does it truly reflect the appreciation and love for the governor? Does it reflect performance of the governor?
I must confess to you, I am on the ground here. I must really confess to you. What played out on that election day was vote buying. We saw it. We saw it, and even some of the civil society groups, election monitors, also attested to the fact that the entire process was characterized by vote buying. The security agent did not even help issues. In fact, even when you call their attention to it, they will tell you that the reason why they are here is to observe the election and not to make arrests. So that to a great extent influenced the decision of the people to cast their vote for the APC.
Okay, Omowajona, let me thank you for your time with us on the program TMI. I hope that some other time we'll be able to interface with you to talk more. Thank you so much, Omowajona.
Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
You too. Okay, that has been our Ondo State correspondent, Omowajona, giving us insights into how the Saturday's governorship election in Ondo State went. And Akeredolu has been elected for a second term, and he has a mandate to deliver on the promises that he has made to his people. He's made a broadcast already, or a speech, acceptance speech, giving insights into what his government is going to do in the days to come, and that's commendable.
Of course, that's commendable, and like the geopolitical nature of the politics of Ondo State, the reporter was given now, is also very accurate.
Yeah.
And that Akeredolu one is more like a miracle because, you know, majority of the votes are domiciled in Akure.
Yeah.
Just like in Edo, majority of the votes are domiciled in Edo South. So that's how you have majority of the votes domiciled in Akure. That's Edo, Ondo Central in Ondo State. So, and Eyita Ojegede of the PDP, a very formidable candidate for that matter, comes from the Central Senatorial District. And you saw how well he did in Akure and elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, I think the governor has done what he needs to do. He has accepted. He won fair and square.
Yeah.
I mean, all the other dynamics are vote buying is a.
It's synonymous with our election.
It's
but we're hoping
yes.
that it will be a thing of the past.
Yes, gradually.
In the days to come. Yeah.
Gradually, we are going to phase it out. Just like it has become unfashionable now to steal ballot box.
Yes. Or right results.
Or right results in hotel rooms.
Yes.
Gradually, vote buying will also be phased out. Both sides buy. They are in the business of buying votes.
Of course.
So
let's not even say both sides. All sides buy.
All sides.
The person who has the highest, who can make the highest bid.
So, and if you look at it, I'm a mathematician. You saw more than 90,000 difference. You know, if you share 5,000 times, maybe 100,000. You know how much it is.
It comes to.
Of course. So it's not possible to really buy. You must first of all be popular to now be able to buy your way.
True. All right. Now, let's quickly cap up this conversation. The NSAS now protest, well, to an extent, came to an end yesterday with the dissolution of the body. We heard that dissolution came after a meeting with Mr. President, and then the IGP came forth and made the announcement that SARS has been dissolved across all formation, whether state, zonal, or federal. Right.
I think, well, so that I don't belittle the efforts of the IG at dissolving SARS, but I think it's more of a cosmetic dissolution, because the people you have dissolved, they are still within the system of the police. The police, as an organization, I dare to say, is the most corrupt organization in Nigeria. See, let's not kid ourselves about it. Corruption is synonymous with the police. On a very good day, more money exchange hands in the police, in the state headquarters of police and the various offices of the DPOs than in a normal bank in their environment. That is the truth. You don't get into a police case and get out of it without paying. This is the fact of the matter. They must dissolve SARS, end SARS, reform the police. This is the time for us to start advocating for state police. That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. So coming to make a, photo op announcement that you have dissolved SARS and you have redeployed their men to the various. They are still policemen. Do you even know that SARS, the highest line of defense in the police, and I got this information from a police officer, is the police mobile force. The one mobile. Just like you have special trained for the task. They are not stolen, and they are not black shirts. Give them one, and say we can't cover that. You see the man, I'm giving the house, we all have from the blues. The other day we come, I took police to win by the last record. From Lagos to Okada, you see maybe a man checkpoint. From Okada to Yoruba to checkpoint. In that checkpoint, 5 of them are suspicious. And we help you, set you, arrest you, penalize you, take your POS card. I'm saying that you're looking at us. The man we don't want from you. I want to take them. They have to do that checkpoint. And you have it. They don't want to get money. They cannot. That's the thing that must be alright. You're right. Security agency fear you. Because that's the big power. But you know that you are driving from Lagos, for example. Now they know that you will leave yourself and you will not get problem. They will focus on those that know and do for themselves. If you now want to try to interfere, that means you are interfering in an investigation, which is criminal. Some of them, you have to do nothing. And you that's boss now. That's how can be a bush, big bush, it's a bush. And you don't have to do that. Don't do that. It's not possible. So before you outside, you look at it. After collecting money from you, give you motivational speech. If they know it, give you motivational. Don't give you motivational. Worry, sometimes you do like this, please your friend. Our friend is enough. Then there's another one you go there. By 10 p.m. Friday night, they always there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's very big deal. They don't go there. You can't pretend not to about this. This is the truth. As my past 9-11, they are always going to law. I was going to law. Going to all the way they say. I'm not even saying our youth bearers, that's not too much. Yes, it's too much. But it's also social menace. Criminalizing social menace.
That's disbanded. It was designed to tackle high-level crimes, kidnapping, armed robbery, and other those social vices. We also saw a part of NSAS protest. Some say they are boys, internet getting their vehicles, driving in very, very hazardous manner, just to stage the protest. So, well, it says NSAS means the public.
Boys, I'm trying to see properly. Now, let's look at it. EFCC, I put it on Facebook. Anytime they publicize it, because those who want to venture into Yahooism, Now, they arrest boys, and most times they charge them to court, and they get sometimes 6 months. Sometimes they don't get any sentence at all. They recover all their property, including your Nokia phone. That EFCC collects everything from you. Recover everything, put it in the coffers of the government, put them to community service, give them 6 months. It then means that the highest sentence for Yahooism is between maybe 6 months to 1 year imprisonment. I'm not a lawyer, but from what I have observed so far, the highest sentence for armed robbery is about 25 years. The highest sentence for the minimum sentence, I'm sorry, I'm saying highest. Now, the minimum sentence for kidnapping in Edo State, for example, is life imprisonment. In some other states, it is death for kidnapping. In fact, I think they reviewed it recently to death. So it's punishable by death. A man who was trained and equipped to go and arrest people whose minimum sentence should be death or life imprisonment has abandoned that responsibility and has now focused on a boy whose maximum sentence is maybe 1 year imprisonment and relinquishing of all his property that is still gotten. Now, again, I will come to Yahoo boys. I'm coming there, but let us first of all talk about the police because
okay,
you cannot.
Let me pause you there because I need to take a short break now, and we'll be back to quickly cap this up. It's still TMI. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in a moment. Thanks guys for staying with us. More news for you. Let's start your midday this on the internet and television. We'll quickly conclude our conversations on the NSAS now process with the final disbandment of the group. You said something before that week.
Yes, I was trying to say that those who are capable of a very dangerous time.
They focus more on
they focus more on Yahoo boys. And I think the core responsibility is that courting, armed robbery. Courts are running wild in the street. Armed robbers are running wild in the street. Like I said in the previous discourse, just go up on by 7 p.m. You may not get conclusion. They will not do everything you have. They have bundle of that. And they are looking for Yahoo boys. Or suspected Yahoo boys. Because see, there is a lot of this money on the internet. There's press. There is cryptocurrency. Yes, we are going to Yahoo and condemn it. But there are lots of money to make lots of ways to money in the internet. It's only in the southern part of Nigeria that we have Yahoo. What put our Yahoo politicians? Now, that's not to justify all those boys that they get involved in fraud. And the next you see them in their hotels, or in the clubs, they will buy a phone of 600, 700,000 naira. They will buy a wine of 1 million and pour the wine on the phone. That it shows the level of intellectual decay that we have in the midst of our youth. We have those that do that, and we condemn it. But it is not the responsibility of SARS to begin to chase people. Even around this issue, I know of people who they have gone to their houses severally. They call it busting. Have you heard that before? Busting. It's a terminology in policing in Nigeria now. Busting. Like in a commando-like fashion, in an armed robber-like fashion. They will come to your house, cut your gate, go in there, beat people up. Which section of the Constitution permits you to beat somebody up? To inflict bodily injury on someone? And you know, they will take them to the station, profile them, they collect money, and they are let loose. Have you solved the problem? And there's the other one that is worse. It's called economic profiling. If you were young and now you are on this suit, and you are driving a flashy car, they will stop you. They don't need to know what to do for a living. They will stop you, they will profile you, they will begin to ask you, where did you get money to buy suit? Did you ask me the source of my poverty? That you are now asking the source of my wealth.
But let's look at it this way. Aren't these people also a victim of the system? So, going forward now.
Going forward,
yeah.
First of all, I must encourage our youth to abandon crime. See, if you are not into crime, the kind of confidence you use to talk to a policeman, it will be. I met some the other day. He said, stop. Where do you see money to buy car? I say, is that why you're concerned? Is it part of your core responsibility as a policeman? He said, show me your book. I showed them. They say, what do you do for a living? I say, it's not your business, sir. The man look at me. I said, well, why do people like intimidating young people? He said, do you know why you have confidence to talk like this? It's because you are not into crime. He just told me to my face. He said, if you were a Yahoo boy now, by now you'll be shaking. He said, we know that.
And that gives you away.
That gives you away. So our people must abandon crime. Again, our police are passing through hell. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Our policemen are passing through hell. I like mentioning places. Look at BDPA police station. Look at the truck they use. It has a different color on the bonnet. It has a different color. This is the truth of the matter. If they are watching and they know what I'm saying, it's the truth. The truck breaks down every day.
Second.
That truck the average car is faster than that truck. That truck cannot chase armed robbers. It's meant to just park by the side of the road to convey them from their police station to the road and from the road to the police station. And more often than not, it breaks down 2-3 times before they even get to the police station. How do you use that to curb crime in an area? So moving forward, again, there's a point, a very important point I want to make. I said it when we were discussing about the Ondo election. We must stop demonizing our country. I was having this conversation with a group of friends, and I was telling them, Yahoo boys, they are on too much. So even this ends ourselves, the way they behave, the way they conduct themselves, that will make you even feel that this should not end. Even with all the crime and atrocities that the SARS officials are committing. And somebody told me, he said, is Nigeria the country with the highest number of internet fraudsters? I now asked myself, is that true?
Yeah.
I went for a research. A simple Google search. Nigeria is now among the top 20 countries with the highest number of internet scammers. Yes. So why is our own the loudest? Because once our boys see small money, it runs right into their spine. And they begin to misbehave. They begin to insult people, insult elders. They go to family meeting and curse elders. Their senior brother who is maybe an ASP or a DSP in the police, when they saw it, they will say, shut up, you have money. You don't see money before. That is the problem we are facing in this country. So Nigeria is not the highest scammer country in the world. But we are so demonized our country that if you are talking to a Canadian now, you are talking to a British,
an American.
You are talking to an American, they will tell you Nigeria is the headquarters of fraud. And it's a lie. Yeah. We have Russia, you have China, we have North Korea that have state-sponsored Yahooism. State-sponsored. It's a means of foreign exchange for them. And they don't demonize their countries like that. Yeah. But Nigeria, we are the cynosure of all eyes when it comes to crime and criminality. So we must begin to adjust. We must begin to speak good of our nation. That is not to say that what the police have been doing, the killing, policemen, misbehaving, you don't know in fact, I advocate. They will not take them. They don't
and they confront the bad guys.
In the US, the policemen pistol and tailors. And then they put your marker in their boots.
Okay.
And then they confront.
All right, we're asking for total reflection. Yeah, that's what we bring up. Thank you, Idris, for the time. The energy with which you spoke about this has goes far than you with.
And we see you every day. They carry them on the ground.
Yeah.
But
you want somebody to also lose their lives. No, you're
not looking for a kidnapper.
That's my another day. Thank you for coming on the program. Thank you. It's TMI Monday. Take another short break. We'll be talking with the Prince Builders. We'll be talking about President Moments with us.